What if the answer to a failing power grid wasn't hidden in a laboratory, but carved into a mountainside centuries ago? Right now, energy prices are rising, water systems are under pressure, and modern agriculture is burning through electricity just to keep soil alive. Yet long before pumps, plastic irrigation lines, or climate-controlled greenhouses, an ancient civilization built farms that stayed stable through drought, frost, and unpredictable weather, without a single watt of electricity. Today, we're not just talking about history, we're rebuilding it. Because buried in ancient Peruvian soil is a system so precise, so efficient, that modern engineers are only beginning to understand how it works. Stone terraces that manage heat like a battery, hidden channels that guide water with gravity alone. Microclimates are engineered without steel, wires, or fuel. And here's the question that changes everything. What happens when we recreate that system today, in a world facing energy uncertainty? Stay with me, because this isn't nostalgia. It's a high-stakes transformation that could redefine how we grow food when modern systems fail. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe, follow this channel, and hit the notification button, because every week we uncover forgotten engineering that still works right now. The first secret isn't the terraces themselves, it's what's underneath them. Most people look at ancient stone farming and see walls. Engineers see thermal mass. These terraces were built like layered heat engines. During the day, stone absorbs sunlight. At night, it slowly releases that warmth back into the soil, preventing sudden temperature drops that destroy crops. Modern agriculture tries to recreate this effect with expensive greenhouses and powered heating systems. The Incas did it with gravity, rock, and timing. If you want to apply this principle today, start simple. Instead of flat garden beds, build raised stone borders or even compacted earth edges that capture heat during the day. You're not just shaping land, you're building a passive climate control system, and that's only the beginning. The real breakthrough was subterranean water management. Ancient terraces weren't watered from above, as modern sprinklers are. They were hydrated from below, using carefully angled channels that slowed water down before it reached the roots. This prevented erosion, reduced evaporation, and kept soil consistently moist without constant attention. Think about what that means during a power outage. No pumps, no timers, no electrical irrigation systems. Gravity does the work. You can test this on a small scale. Dig a shallow trench at the back of a garden bed, fill it with gravel or coarse organic material, and let water seep slowly through the soil instead of flooding the surface. The result is stronger roots, less water waste, and soil that stays cooler under extreme heat. Ancient engineers weren't fighting nature. Now here's where the story gets serious. Modern farming relies on uniform conditions, flat land, constant water pressure, and controlled fertilizers. But the Incan approach was the opposite. They embraced variation. Each terrace sat at a slightly different height, creating microclimates within the same hillside. One level might trap warmth, another might stay cooler and retain moisture longer. Why does that matter today? Because a single crop failure doesn't wipe everything out. Diversity of terrain becomes a survival strategy. Even in a backyard or small homestead, you can recreate this concept. Build staggered planting levels using soil mounds, stone steps, or retaining walls. Plant heat-loving crops higher, where warmth accumulates. Place moisture-sensitive plants lower, where water settles naturally. You're not just gardening anymore, you're design resilience. And this is where, ancient thermal massing really changes the conversation about energy costs. When electricity becomes expensive or unreliable, most modern systems, they fail pretty fast. Pumps stop, climate controls shut down, soil dries out. But terraces built with stone and layered soil, they just keep working because they store energy physically, not digitally. This is survival engineering, honestly, disguised as agriculture. Ancient builders understood that real stability comes from slowing everything down: slower water flow, slower temperature changes, slower erosion. And, yeah, ironically, that slower system actually produces faster growth because plants aren't constantly stressed. There's another lesson hidden here: soil structure. It matters more than technology. These terraces weren't just, piles of dirt. They were engineered layers, large stones at the base for drainage, smaller materials above, and then fertile soil right on top. This allowed water to move without flooding roots, while also keeping long-term fertility. You can apply this right now, honestly, just by thinking in layers instead of mixing everything together. Create a base that drains, a middle layer that holds onto moisture, and a surface that feeds your plants. It's simple, but it really transforms how soil behaves during heavy rain or drought. Ancient solutions don't look flashy. They look patient. So why did modern builders forget these systems? Well, it's all about speed. Industrial farming prioritized quick installation and mechanized efficiency. Flat fields are just easier for machines, right? Pumps replace gravity. Synthetic inputs replace long-term soil design. But that speed, it comes at a cost: dependence on constant energy. As the grid becomes less predictable, the old methods suddenly look, well, less primitive and more advanced. And that's why we're rebuilding these terraces today, not as a museum piece, but as a proper blueprint for the future. If you're serious about survival, resilience, or historical engineering, the takeaway is simple. Work with gravity. Use stone and soil to store energy instead of burning fuel to create it. Design landscapes that regulate themselves. This is more than farming, honestly. It's a mindset shift, from trying to control nature to actually collaborating with it. If this sort of deep historical engineering inspires you, make sure you subscribe, follow this channel, and hit the notification button so you don't miss what's coming next. Share this video with someone who still thinks ancient technology was primitive, because sometimes the oldest systems are the ones built to last. And stay with me, because next we're going deeper into how these terrace designs can be scaled from a single backyard to an entire off-grid food system using nothing but gravity, stone, and time.